Welcome to Marty's Tying Bench. Tonight I'm tying UV JuJu Baetis, a Charlie Craven pattern. I'm tying this in a size 20. This happens to be on a Montana Fly 7125, a TM code 2488 is a proper hook for this as well. And whatever you use for thread, use something A-dot uni. This also is Montana Fly that I'm using. To tie in the tail, I'm going to use a partridge feather. And this is one you can see I've already used the tip section, and I'm going to separate out the density that I want for this tail. Tie that in with a couple of loose wraps on top. And then just give it a gentle tug till it's the length that you prefer. And then tie it back. We're going to go a little ways down the bend on this one. Try and keep it just one layer of thread going back and one layer of thread coming forward. Now we'll cut this off. Save it for the next one. You can get 3, sometimes 4 out of a good partridge feather. Now for body material we're using super hair or supreme hair if you get it from Wapsi. And this is a kinky monofilament in a hank. And I've got 2 strands of olive and 1 strand of black. It's going to give me some segmentation. Now you can mix and match the colors of your super hair and the color of the underlying thread to get some different shades. I'm trying to tie this on the far side of the hook. It seems to give me a good start for when I do wrap it. I'm going to stroke this a few times to get those nice and flat and together. Make sure that first turn jumps all the way up onto your thread wraps. And if your thread underbody is smooth, you'll get nice even segmentation. If you really want it to be neat, it's worth twisting and untwisting the thread to get it to lay nice and flat. Now I'm going to tie a quick whip finish in there just for security reasons, since I don't want to lose my work if I happen to bump the bobbin. Now I've got some opal tinsel, mylar tinsel, off of a spool. And I'm going to start by tying that in on the top. And I'm also going to tie in some fluorofiber. The fluorofiber also comes in hanks. I'm going to use olive on this one. You can use gray, you can use black. And I'm going to cut those ends even to just kind of save me a trim around the eye of the hook. Now you're going to want to work back and make the thorax a little bit bigger than you would think. 60-40 I think is the proportion to shoot for. I'm going to fold these both over so that the fluorofiber is underneath the mylar tinsel, and go with a loose wrap and then tighten up. That'll keep it nice and flat on top. I'm going to fold the mylar back and give it another turn. Now I counted the strands on this fluorofiber. I go with 9 or 10. That way that if you pick out 5 of them for one side, the other side's either going to have 4 or 5, and it'll be relatively even. There we go. Gonna pull those along the far side and then around the near side. And you see I'm only using a bare minimum number of turns here. I'll have some UV over the top, so I don't need a whole lot of turns. I won't need head cement. But I want that head to be nice and small, so be real judicious with the turns. On the JuJu midge, you would change threads and you'd be tying the front end with black. And I often go down as fine as 14/0. Okay, almost done. I've got some Bug Bond, the light formula. It's got a little bit of thickness to it. And what I want to do is touch it on the back and pull it up onto the top. If you put your big drop on the top, the first thing it's going to do is run down and bleed into the legs. So you get a little better shape if I pull it up from the back side. Hit it with some UV. And trim those legs so that they're just a little bit longer than the thorax. Very detailed little Baetis imitation. UV JuJu Baetis.